Hello and welcome to the Single Sales Principle webcast on digital selling and how to sell to a faceless customer. My name is Johnny Cockcroft, and in the first of a two-part series we're going to be looking at the importance of creating a digital strategy that will attract relevant visitors to your website. Then in part two we're going to be looking at conversion rates. We're going to look at how people navigate through your website. We're going to be looking at where people drop out of the buying process, where you didn't quite engage with them, so we can make sure that when future visitors come to your website, they don't fall through the same holes. We're then going to be looking at how we can manipulate your customer journey into taking them through that all-important buying process so they make that inquiry or they make that all-important purchase. Now, I understand that every company is different. We all have our own unique selling points. We all have our own unique processes. But the principles of digital marketing, they remain constant and well defined. Now, some companies use external agencies to do their SEO and others do it internally. But whatever the setup, it's often a lack of direction, a lack of experience, a lack of knowledge, or a lack of communication between teams and departments that leads to little or no progress being made at all. Okay, let's go back to basics. Your website. Your website is the foundation upon which your entire digital strategy will feed back into over time. And if it's not set up correctly, you'll find that huge gaps will appear. And it's through these gaps that all your hard effort, your time, your money, and importantly, your potential customers will fall out of. Indeed, if your website isn't set up correctly, you won't even get out of the starting blocks because search engines will completely ignore you in favour of those who have taken the time and the effort to do it right. So, website structure. The basic principles that you need to check are clean code. Don't have it jam-packed with loads of different types of codes and JavaScript and CSS. There are plenty of plugins and ways to get around that these days, so we don't have our pages slowed up with all this code that search engines effectively have to read through before they get to your content, and half of the time they'll just give up and go elsewhere. You need a very clear and concise page structure, navigation structure, and a sitemap that both search engines and users can read through easily and get to the information that they need to get to with minimal fuss. Page load speed. You just need to consolidate. Again, I've said your JavaScript, your CSS, you need to be reducing the size of your images. Your pages have got to load quickly. It is a factor that Google does consider. You need a sound internal linking structure, so look into how your internal linking structure is developed. Are pages pointing to the right content? Do they have the right title tags in there, pointing users and search engines to the content that they're looking for in the right way? The list isn't infinite, but there are plenty more processes that you need to check, processes that you need to follow to make sure that your website is set up correctly in order for it to be open and ready to receive traffic from search engines. As I say, there are plenty of tools out there to help you get set up. It really is a case of using all the available tools that we have to check our website structure and using them to fine-tune the structure before you start to develop your content and embark upon an external marketing campaign. Okay, so we've got your website technically revved up and firing on all cylinders, but how carefully have you planned your content? What keyword research have you undertaken? Some website marketers think that keyword research is just about meaningful phrases and search volumes, but it's much, much more than that. Keyword research is a tool for planning your content strategically, not just for SEO, but also for branding, PR, communication, with the overall aim of attaining your business objectives. It's astonishing really how many content developers don't even use keyword research at all. They rather rely on instinct, they rely on guesswork, they rely on conversations they've had in team planning meetings, and it just doesn't cut it. If your content strategy isn't based upon real data, it's simply not going to perform to its full potential. Smart keyword research enables you to predict what your audience is looking for, sometimes even before they know it themselves. Guided by a correctly prioritized set of keywords, your content team can get creative whilst anchoring their ideas to real data. Our role as content marketers is to play matchmaker between content and the people who are looking for it. We've got to understand people's needs, their wants, their intents, so that we can create and develop compelling content that appeals to them, whatever stage of the buying process that they are at. Now, just like there are lots of tools out there to help us structure our website technically, there are also a lot of tools out there to help us structure our content correctly too. Such tools enable us to research specific keywords within a particular topic so that we can analyze how well these keywords have performed for others in the past. We can even view how many times a keyword has been searched for and shared across social media platforms within a particular context, so we can predict how popular our article is going to be across specific social media channels. So as part of the content development process, we've got to equip ourselves with intelligent data through sound keyword research that will help us to better understand people's buying behaviours. We can then develop content that is primed for conversion regardless of what stage of the buying process people are at. Now, to help us identify at what stage of the buying process people are in, their intent can be identified by the keywords that they're using to find the content that they're looking for. And their intent generally falls into one of three categories. They're either navigational. This is where the searcher is looking for a specific website, such as the National Geographic. Or they're informational, and this is where a searcher is looking for specific topics, specific content, such as what is the largest animal. Or they're transactional, and this is where the searcher is making specific purchase queries, such as subscribe to the National Geographic. You've got to develop content that is relevant to each stage of the buyer's journey so that they can relate to it and they can engage with it. You can then start turning what was a faceless prospect into a profile that you now know and understand, so you can nurture them into your buying process. So we've now got a clean, fully functioning website that search engines will love, containing well-researched content that meets every step of your prospect's needs. It's time to promote it. If the saying, if you build it, they will come, is far from accurate in digital marketing. You've got to get it out there. So through your research, you now already know and understand the demographic of your audience and where online that your content is going to be popular. So prioritize your rollout. Now, each of the following would warrant a webcast on their own, but points to include are writing articles and submitting them to industry-related websites, magazines, portals. Use paid search on Google, Bing, Yahoo. Now, it's worth noting at this point that the first organic listing in mobile gets 73% more clicks than the first and second sponsored listings combined. Other avenues to consider are email marketing. That can be, if done in the right way, if you engage with people, if you start to learn about what people are looking for and what people are happy to respond to, get to know your audience through email marketing, and it can prove to be an incredibly positive way to gain conversion rates and to make people aware of your activities of the business. Use YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. They are all huge avenues for engaging and reacting and communicating with an audience. And traditional PR and offline marketing. Every outlet is intricately linked to lead generation and to nurturing prospects into your purchase funnel. Okay, search types. Understanding search types can also help when planning a digital strategy, and there are some common sense principles when combining both your on and offline marketing can help to improve your search engine rankings. So what are search types? Firstly, there's brand search. If people are searching for you, it signals that you're popular. Secondly, there's brand plus search. If people are searching for your brand and your business sector, search engines will create an association between the two. Then there's search auto suggest. If someone searches for your service in your location and your business appears, it helps to create confidence and brand recognition, and this will increase traffic to your website. So, a couple of examples how you can put this into practice. Let's look at business cards. Don't just print your website address. Why don't you include something like a QR code, something that people have actively got to go and search for on your website? Let's look at flyers as an example. Include a competition where people have actively got to go and search for your business type in your location, your business service sector, in order to find out some information. And this will help with the search address, which I mentioned previously. Look at sales letters. Use them as a marketing stimulus or the first step in your sales funnel by directing people directly to your website. Local marketing. Engage your local community websites and write about what people care about that is close to you. It's worth remembering that where you sell and who you sell to is more important than what you're selling. It will take time to correctly research, plan and implement a digital strategy, but doing it correctly will pay dividend. Not only financially, but it will help you to better understand the needs of your customers and help you to develop future campaigns more effectively. So I hope that you've enjoyed this webcast and at least been able to take something away from it. And remember to join me in part 2, where we'll be looking at different ways to manipulate the customer journey into that all-important purchase.